Okay, I'm recording this segment over again because this is going through and getting the drive parameters for the primary drive. And I can see it go through and check for the value in the DL register. And normally that's 80 for the primary drive. And it's 81 for the secondary drive. And there's something interesting that goes on here. It checks for the value in DL right there, the top. Compare DL and jump it below to 04EF. Now this goes through and completes. I suppose if I had 81 in DL, it would go through and check for the secondary drive. And I may go through and run that on my dual ESDI drive machine. So I'm all 60 with two ESDI drives. And I've gone through and I've also done code for a value in DL of 00, thinking that it's like the controller. Any value that's below 80. And it goes through and it checks. And I don't know if that's kind of like a branch. That may be like a branch out if it's not a valid drive or device number, maybe. But I'm trying to see if I can get a value in there for the DL register that goes to using the controller and provides some microcode instead, rather than this than the drive parameters itself. I don't know why I'm not able to get a return value of the controller values. And I think this is almost over. Goes through and it jumps through quite a bit of the ROM extension on the ESDI controller. And not quite yet, just a couple more returns. And it's going through the counter and moving information into the buffer that I have set aside. There we go. Okay, so I'll press the space bar just to get that away. And the values that we have in that buffer are what I discussed in the previous video. It has all the decoding of the cylinders and sectors and all that stuff. So I've gone through and I've attempted to put in values below 80 to get something to key there, and I haven't seen anything happen with that. It goes through, and I can do a video on that because it goes through and the branch, when after it checks for that DL is less than 80, that jump below, it goes through. The next comparison is whether DL is 01 or not, or it jumps if it's 01 or below, or 00 effectively, and goes through a lot of the same routine, but it doesn't bring back any values. And I don't know if that's just, it's like the device is not valid, so it returns 0 values or something like that, maybe. I don't know. And then I've tried values above 81, and that doesn't seem like it gives me any valid data either. So, but running the execute, I mean, it's the machine going through rather than me kind of asynchronously pressing the F8 key to advance. It just ticks through. And for that, it seems like it works to get information back from the controller, because the technical reference says that if it doesn't get, the controller can time out after 4 seconds if there's it doesn't get the right commands and things like that. And I've just been comparing those interrupt calls that compare very closely, and especially the fields, the block fields that return from those that in the ESDI technical reference. And interesting enough, I'm getting a microchannel Western Digital controller that's, ESDI. I mean, we'll have to see how close that is to how IBM did things. It's got a the nice thing is I'll be able to dump the ROM extension from that, because the page is up at the Arden tool, but not the ROM extension has not been dumped for that. And that is brand new in box. It's ultimately coming from Computer Reset. So I'll hopefully have that in a few days and be able to kind of go a little bit further. And I've spent most of the day now trying to get whatever details I can out of this. And like I say, I may have a follow-up video where I go through and do some other numbers, trying it in that DL register, or trying it on my other system. But we'll see. So I'm in the recording, get it up.